The sun was only a pale smear behind the Afghan mountains when the team moved into position. Dust hung in the air, orange and alive. 6 SEALs crouched in the scrub, scanning the valley below through scopes and binoculars. Above them, on a rocky outcrop, lay Delta Harlow, the rookie. She didn't look like much to the others. Barely 22, slight frame, pale freckles. Her Barrett M107A1 looked bigger than she was. She'd joined the unit just 3 weeks ago, fresh from a sniper program where half the men washed out and the instructors still said she was too quiet. But she listened. That was her edge. Winds shifting again, muttered Chief Petty Officer Briggs, the team lead, glancing at her. You got the shot, rookie. Delta didn't answer right away. Her cheek was pressed against the cool metal of the rifle, her gloved finger resting lightly on the trigger guard. Through her scope, the world slowed. A convoy of enemy trucks wound down the valley floor, one armored helix in the center, the target. Her spotter, Petty Officer Cruz, adjusted the rangefinder. 2.1 miles. That's pushing it. You sure you wanna try, Harlow? She breathed out, steady. Wind 7 knots east. Temp dropped 2 degrees since last reading. I've got it. Cruz blinked. The math was impossible to do in your head, but she didn't even glance at the Kestrel meter. She had already done the calculation before dawn. Briggs snorted. Hell, let's see the rookie earn her keep. The radio crackled. Target vehicle stopping. We have visual on the HVT. You're green. Delta's heart didn't pound, it whispered. She lined up the scope, saw the man step from the helix, his coat fluttering like a flag in the wind. At this distance, he looked like a smudge of ink. She dialed the elevation, adjusted for spin drift, then watched the mirage shimmer in the valley heat. Her breath slowed. 1, 2, the world narrowed to the thin black crosshair. Then the trigger broke like glass. A second passed. 2. The SEALs held their breath. Somewhere over 2 miles away, a man turned his head, and then folded to the dirt, motionless. Hit confirmed, Cruz whispered, disbelief cracking his voice. Jesus Christ. Direct center mass. Briggs lowered his binoculars, staring up the ridge where Delta lay still behind the Barrett. That's not possible. Delta just blinked once, chambered another round, and murmured, winds changing. We should move before they trace it. The silence that followed wasn't disbelief anymore. It was respect, and maybe a little fear. For the first time that morning, Briggs grinned. Remind me never to call her, rookie, again. Delta didn't smile. She just slung the Barrett over her shoulder and looked toward the horizon, where the wind was already shifting again. They flew out that night under blackout conditions. The mission was over, but the legend had just begun. By the time they reached the forward operating base, word of Delta Harlow's 2.1-mile shot had already spread through every tent, every mess hall, every comms channel. She didn't notice the stairs. She was cleaning her Barrett on the tailgate of a Humvee, humming softly, her hands steady as ever. The .50 cal bolt gleamed under the floodlights. Briggs approached, helmet under his arm, jaw set. Pack your gear, we're heading to the range. Delta glanced up. Range, sir, it's 0200 hours. Exactly, Briggs said, nodding toward the shadowed hills beyond the base. We're testing something. Cruz shot her a sympathetic look but followed anyway. The range was nothing more than a flat stretch of dirt and steel silhouettes scattered across it. The desert wind whispered through the radio masts. Someone had dragged out a set of night glow targets, one at 800 yards, another at 1,500, the farthest at 2,500. Briggs turned to her. You impressed the brass, now they want to know if it was skill, or luck. Delta set the Barrett down and started loading the mag. Luck's just preparation meeting the right second, she murmured. The SEALs watched silently as she lay prone, adjusting her bipod. They had seen every type of sniper before, steady hands, cold hearts, but this one didn't fit the mold. No arrogance, no swagger. Just quiet precision. Cruz handed her the spotting scope. Target's hot, you good, always. She sighted in. The wind tonight was trickier, gusting crosswise, then dying off. A lesser shooter would have hesitated. Delta waited for the pause, read the air by instinct, and squeezed. The 800-yard target pinged. Then the 1,500. Each shot measured, deliberate, perfect. Briggs folded his arms. Impressive. Now hit the last one. She tilted her scope. The 2,500-yard target was nearly invisible, just a faint shimmer in the heat haze of the distant dunes. Her breathing slowed. The world compressed again. The hum of the wind, the faint thud of her heartbeat, the scent of oil and dust. Crack, a heartbeat, 2, ping, the sound carried back like a ghost across the dark. Even Briggs couldn't hide his grin this time. Hell, she did it again. Delta stood, brushing sand off her uniform. Was that the test? Not exactly, Briggs said, stepping closer. His tone was lower now, more serious. You just earned a slot in Task Omega. It's a joint Black Ops team. Snipers, divers, and ghosts. You sure you're ready for that? Her eyes lifted to the mountains beyond the wire. I didn't come here to be ready, she said quietly. I came here to be necessary. The SEALs exchanged glances, respect, again, and something else, the realization that the quiet rookie wasn't just another shooter. She was becoming the legend they would tell stories about long after the desert swallowed her footprints.